what you should have watched already is obviously the introduction to the project as well as the rubric. And you should have also watched the video on how to prepare to trace. Those those videos, if you've already watched the one on how to trace, you can obviously you're watching this one now. So what you're going to need to start out, you're going to need a pencil, or actually with this part of the project, what works best is a ballpoint pen. Don't use a felt tip or like a marker with something soft, but a pencil will do. You're also going to need a what is this, 12 by 18 piece of paper, preferably something a little bit harder like tag board. You'll have to get that from me. You're only going to get one of these, so don't ask for another one. You're also going to need to choose a picture, and your picture needs to either it needs to be very contrasty with a difference between light and dark. This is mine. I now enlarged it. If you have not given yours to me to enlarge it, you should do that now. And what I've done already is I've taken the back and I've put pencil, very dark as you can see, and close together, all through the entire back. Now I'm going to put this down, and I'm going to arrange this. I want her a little bit lower on here. I think that that's a little bit too high up. I would maybe give her a little bit of room on the bottom here. And now the last thing I'm going to need is some tape. Not a lot. You're just going to need 2 little pieces of tape to hold this down while you're tracing it. Now, you guys cannot throw out this photo. You're going to need it later because you're making this one look realistic. So you're going to need to you're going to need to remember, or at least see, what your light and dark and everything is. Okay, so you're going to just write on the side of your paper, off to the side, on your picture. Okay, not your project. On your picture, you're going to write 1, outline. 2, dark. 3, light. 4, lips. 5, light gray. 6, dark gray. Those are the order of things that you're going to be tracing over when you do this project. You are going to be tracing the different shapes of shadow in this order. Stay in this order. All right. Also, when you're tracing these, keep in mind what I told you. We're creating this. We're creating a paint by number. If you don't have the paint by, or if you don't understand this, ask me. Watch these videos again, because I'm just going to be explaining the exact same thing again. But you need to have enclosed shapes that you can fill in with paint. Lines don't work. They have to be enclosed shapes. Now, just a little other thing, a bit of advice. Your instinct is going to be to draw eye, nose, mouth, and draw the things that you know are there. Don't see a face. See a series of dark and light and gray shadows, and you're putting them together like puzzle pieces. It should look like this. It should look crazy. It shouldn't look perfect. It should look all funky when you're done with this. So I've got my tape in each corner, shaded the back already. Now it's time to start tracing these. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to outline it. And even if I can't see, like right here, this white goes right in. Obviously, I'm not going to come in here. I'm going to just kind of make up where I think that's going to be. And that really would be the only time I want you to make anything up. Now, one of the other things that you have to know about this project is it's your project. If you don't feel like drawing something, you can delete it. I don't want to draw this necklace. I just don't want to do it. So I'm going to skip it. Okay, so I've outlined all the way around the outside. Done. Cross that off the list. Next, you're going to trace the dark areas. Now, I'm talking about when the copy machine made this, it used all its ink. It is black. So that is the first thing you're going to do is you're going to outline the dark black areas. Remember to make them enclosed shapes. Okay, it looks like I've got all the dark areas. One of the things I want you to not get obsessed with is don't get obsessed with the hair. I've got people who love to go in and do all the little tiny strands of hair. I just clump a bunch of it together. Don't get obsessed with that. Just ideas on where the hair is and where the highlights are is going to be just fine. So, got the dark areas, cross that off my list. Now I'm going to trace the very, very light areas. Those are the ones where, when the copy machine made this, it did not put any ink on there. It is just the white of the paper. So I'm going to go ahead and trace that one now. Now I've got the light areas. Notice, like, I've got big areas where, like, I didn't even stop. I just kept going. Oh, this is one big light area. So now I'm going to outline the lips if I can. I'm going to just look right here. The lips kind of come down like this. I don't have to put them in there. I wouldn't do it with the lips on this one. That's one just if, like, the darks and lights have made it so that you can't see the lips at all, you're going to want to either make them up, call me over, I can maybe help you out. But the lips are pretty much done. I already did it with the darks and lights. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the light gray and dark gray. This one's the trickiest one, and there's a reason why we saved this one for last. Let's look here. There is a difference here. Do you see where her chin is? Like, we've got dark gray here and lighter gray here. This is important because her face it's showing the difference between her face and her chin. If you didn't do this, you wouldn't be able to see that. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to trace the difference between this light gray area and this dark gray area. Okay, I've also got kind of this other gray area right here around her eyes. It's not black. And then I've got, this little bit of dark gray over here. So, also, there's a dark gray here, light gray here. I'd probably want to put the two differences between that. Okay, dark gray, light gray. Dark gray, light gray. I don't think I'm really going to do much with her hair here. I kind of want to just leave the highlights. Maybe I'll do a little bit down here, but not much. I'm going to finish this up. I might put where her nose is. There's a little bit of a light gray, dark gray difference there. And that's about it. This looks pretty much done. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off, but you have to keep this. Don't lose this picture. You're going to be using it. But I'm going to pull this off, and you can see now where I've traced the image of my person. Okay? Just kind of do a little touch-ups in case there's any places where I don't really see anything. But otherwise, this looks pretty good, and it looks pretty ready to paint. So we'll move on to that step next. But go ahead, stop, do this. This is the next step. Do this one. If you need any help, let me know. If you want me to look over it when you're done, go ahead. But if you want me to check it while this picture is still on top of it, so that you're not going to move the image and then everything's all messed up. All right, so look over it. Let me know if you want me to look over it. Move on.